on an all-new Dr. Phil, a workout expert.
I live in fear.
A former instructor.
Ever since I terminated Nikki, she's been cyber-stalking me.
But here's the twist.
Nikki says Janet is stalking her.
You called me a fraud.
When? Where?
Your mother even called me a psychopath.
Workout wars.
You ambushed her on television.
I'm in fear for my life because you put a target on my back like you're a hitman.
But you took it public. Let's do it.
Not a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. My first guest today is an exercise guru who found fame, fortune, and success with her sexy, high-energy Vixen workout. But now she says someone in the shadows is trying to take her down. Janet claims Nikki, one of her former certified instructors, is not only out to destroy her, but also anyone associated with her. Janet says Nikki was breaking all the rules, so she had no choice but to kick her out of the Vixen Army.
5, 6, 7, 8. I'm the creator and owner of the Vixen Workout. My company is based on empowering women. The Vixen Workout is a dance fitness program where I make women feel as if they are the performers of a concert. I launched a certification program. Nikki, she was granted a license to use the Vixen Workout. A month after she was certified, it became apparent that she would be a threat to the Vixen Workout.
Bring it here. Pop it.
We had to begin addressing how she was marketing herself.
Boom, down, pop.
She was causing confusion amongst our clients. Nikki seemed to be mimicking whatever the company would post, which at the time we were announcing a nationwide tour, and then she would announce that she was going on tour. Nikki put an offer on Craigslist offering my clients the opportunity to be part of this leading team of Vixen workout instructors. I was pissed when I found out that she was soliciting for her own business. She thought that she had the same freedom that I did. Finally, I terminated Nikki. Ever since I terminated her, it's been absolute hell. I am absolutely afraid of Nikki. She's been cyber stalking me, harassing my instructors and the studios. She just went straight up to just wanting to ruin everything that I've ever built.
Well, Nikki refused to take it lying down. In fact, she's twerked her way straight to a courtroom, the FBI, and the Better Business Bureau. Now, Janet says she is now so scared of Nikki that she was forced to hire a bodyguard to protect her.
Nikki created an Instagram dedicated to hate of me, my workout, and other instructors. When I was promoting my classes in New York, she would post on Instagram saying that I better watch out the moment that I landed. I took that as a physical threat. I would not leave my hotel room without my bodyguard escorting me out of the building. It escalated to tweets of putting a GIF of a woman doing like that, bang, bang, and tagging me on it. I live in fear. Recently, I was made aware of comments on YouTube where she says that I touch children. To say that comment, I think you have to be a vile human being. She hates me and wants me to suffer. It's not about the money for Nikki. It's about her harming me and harming anyone who loves me.
So, you're really concerned about this woman?
Yes.
You think she's a threat to you?
Absolutely. She's passionately cyber-stalked me for 7 months. So I'm not sure what she's capable of or not capable of.
All right, well, Nikki is here and insists she did nothing wrong. In fact, she says Janet is a fraud who is stalking her and who owes her money and an apology. Let's hear what she has to say.
Once you're certified as a Vixen instructor, you're authorized to use their name to teach the fitness classes. I was wrongfully terminated by Janet Jones and Vixen Workout. It was just out of the blue, and I was just like dumbfounded. Like, this isn't real. This isn't happening. This is a joke. I didn't know I was in violation. When I first started teaching, there were no guidelines in place. There was no list of rules of what you can do, what you can't do. Even in email conversations, she states, you know, we're brand new, we're still figuring things out. And I was being patient and not, you know, making a fuss. She never provided a copy of the agreement until 2 months after I became an instructor. My certification was revoked with no explanation, no warnings. This email just said I was detrimental to the brand and I'm terminated. After I was terminated, Janet started bad-mouthing me to her instructors over Facebook. Now I'm being attacked online. I'm being bullied. Janet Jones is very vindictive, misleading. I need her to get this target off my back and just reimburse me my money. I believe she's a fraud. I'm suing Janet personally for advertising that I'm a con artist and defaming my character, causing me to lose income. Janet refused to respond. I was just ignored, thrown in the trash like a nobody.
So you've been listening to the show so far, right?
So far.
And she says that you got involved, then you started violating the policies, and when she asked you to stop, you started threatening her, you started attacking her, and harassing people associated with her. True or false?
That was false. There was no harassment.
There are social media posts that Janet felt you were behind. And on YouTube, a post read, and this was published August 13th of this year, Janet Jones and Vixen Workout steals from innocent people, cheats, breaks government and state laws, touches children, breaks up marriages, and keeps your money.
I don't recall writing any of that.
You didn't write that?
I didn't write that.
Did you cause it to be written?
I caused it to be written by telling people what happened and venting out of anger and frustration.
Did you ask somebody to write it?
I didn't ask anybody to write that. I could have let it to happen by venting and you know, being frustrated and telling people and saying things like that, because that's how I feel.
So you feel this way?
I do. Not that she breaks marriages, but, you know, you're breaking laws, you're cheating, you're stealing from innocent people, you know, to promote.
What about touches children?
No.
Okay, so you don't make that allegation?
No.
You did take this public, you kind of ambushed her on local television, right?
Yeah, 2 months after trying to communicate with her directly, I said, you know what, you have until the end of the month to just reimburse me, or I'm just going to take this to the public and to the media and to the press.
Okay, next, Nikki says Janet has turned her 100,000 plus Vixen army against her, and she's afraid for her life. Is Janet stalking Nikki? Well, we're going to find out and more after the break.
Janet Jones is leading this cyberbullying campaign against me. One day I'm teaching a non-Vixen workout class. Somebody stormed into the room. They came in it with intent to do some type of harm, and then they started doing like verbal gestures like, Dad, and we're gonna hurt you, we're gonna fight. I have to walk around with weapons. I'm in fear of my safety.
And later,
For 7 months, we've been stalked and harassed.
And I gotta walk around with a bat. I'm in fear for my life because you put a target on my back like you're a hitman.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. Missing for 6 years.
Kyron's stepmother was the last known person to see the second grader.
I believe that Terry Harmon knows where Kyron is.
Now,
did you attempt to hire someone to kill your husband?
she speaks out
You lied to the media.
Yes, because I was told to.
in an exclusive interview.
It's been 6 years, people telling you not to talk. People who have nothing to hide nothing.
That's tomorrow.
Janet started trying to blacklist me. Even when I was terminated, Janet still tried to control me by telling companies I work with I can't use the Vixen name. She doesn't own the word Vixen. She's not Oprah. You can't tell me what word I can and cannot use. I wasn't using her logo. I wasn't using the term Vixen Workout. But for you to try to stop me from at least recouping the money that I'm out of after I'm terminated was a little bit too much.
Okay, today it's a workout war between two fitness fanatics. Vixen workout founder Janet says her former certified instructor, Nikki, has been cyber harassing her and her clients ever since she terminated her. Now, Nikki, on the other hand, says Janet's Vixen army is after her, and she's afraid for her life.
I'm in fear of my safety. I have to walk around with weapons. I carry mace in a mini bag in my bag for protection. I mean, when I do teach classes, I have my husband come with me. I have to constantly look over my shoulder. One day I'm teaching a non-Vixen workout class, and somebody stormed into the room. Now, instantly, I already recognized her as one of the Vixen Army fans and one of her instructors with her. And then they started doing like verbal gestures, like they're gonna do harm to me, like you're dead, and we're gonna hurt you, and we're gonna fight. They came in it with intent to do some type of harm or give me a warning sign or a threat. Shortly after that, I saw this big post that was my flyer from my non-Vixen workout class, but it said fraud all over it. I believe the Vixen Army is direct messaging my clients that are interested in taking my fitness classes. I feel Janet Jones is leading this cyberbullying campaign against me. She handed out my personal home address to people. She put a target on my back. I feel it was Janet who created this hate page with the whole purpose of defaming me. The Vixen Army is harassing me, that they're sending me text messages saying I shouldn't broke all the rules. They wrote nasty things like I'm a psychopath, I'm a stalker, I'm broke, I'm crazy. It's not good to cyberbully people. We're adults. Most of these people are in their 30s, 40s, 60s doing childish things, and it just needs to stop. A simple misunderstanding, it should have never gotten this far.
Okay, I agree with your last statement. It should have never gotten this far. Tell me what you're thinking right now.
I'm just frustrated. I'm scared. It hurts my heart. I had to tell my son why I'm gonna be here, that I'm being cyberbullied. I shouldn't be telling my 9-year-old about some mess like this. I'm frustrated, I'm angry, I'm tired of this. I want this to be over with my name cleared. She put a hit on my back like she's a hitman or something.
But you took it public. You went to local news.
I waited 2 months before I did anything public.
But then you went public.
And yes, because I was trying to get a response. I'm trying to communicate. I filed Better Business Bureau complaints. She didn't answer. I mailed certified letters. They came back as unknown address.
What do you say about that?
It's an absolute lie. After reviewing her file, which, to note, I have never had to email another instructor over anything. So after reviewing her file, it was apparent that she had to be revoked. The next week, she emailed every single studio that Vixen has ever stepped foot in, saying that if they continue to do business with me or anyone associated with me, that they're going to be brought into this whole legal lawsuit, that the FBI was investigating me, and if they continue to do business or any of my instructors, that they will be part of the FBI investigation.
Did you do that?
She emailed every single studio of every single instructor.
You contacted the studios?
I contacted studios, and I sent a copy of one of the many complaints I filed and said that there may be an investigation.
You brought all the studios into it with what you call complaints. You do that, and then when those people start being critical of you, then you say you're being cyberbullied.
Well, I sent messages to the studios. She went into specific details to the instructors by giving them my name, address,
it's their place of business.
You don't own them.
Well,
you're not a pimp.
Okay, Janet isn't the only Vixen that says she's being harassed. There's another instructor who says Nikki has set her sights on her as well. We'll be right back.
Nikki was scamming Vixen workout clients, she was scamming instructors, and she was scamming the brand in general. She's not the victim because she's been the one terrorizing other people.
And later, you're getting a look behind the scenes at what all goes in to making what we hope is one of the biggest hits in television.
You shot my son.
This is her son's blood.
You left Stefan in a ditch, riddled with bullet holes.
I did not kill Stefan.
I use heroin every couple hours. I would rather feed my drug habit than my unborn child.
She's my sister. How could you do this to a baby?
It gets worse.
Right now, she is really high. She's gonna be...
Stop the tape. You're either going to watch this and get in the game, or you're out.
Plus, he went from all-American athlete
I've been living on the street.
to homeless wannabe rapper.
He's into rap now?
I'm here to tell a story and inspire. That is it. I'm on the wire.
He's a rapper?
I've been doing this for 15 years. You get to thinking you've seen and heard everything until now.
The Vixen Army is the name that Janet Jones gives to all the members of the fitness classes. So that's like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of followers and fans. Janet misleads people and uses people and is willing to do whatever it takes to make $1. And she's using her fans to make a quick buck. I believe the Vixen Army is coming after me. Janet used her influence on her fans and followers to verbally attack me. Somebody needs to pay because it's just a serious situation.
Well, from fighting about stretchy pants, disco balls, and tank tops to showing up armed with a weapon for a workout, I think it's safe to say Janet and her former instructor, Nikki, not going to be sharing a post-workout smoothie anytime soon. Certified Vixen instructor Michaela says she became the target of Nikki's wrath after she took Vixen's side in this dispute. Take a look.
I'm a proud member of the Vixen Army. The Vixen Army doesn't care about Nikki. I think that she's a complete coward. Nikki reached out to me after I got certified as an instructor with the Vixen workout. She said that she had studios lined up in Atlanta that needed a Vixen instructor, and she asked if I'd be willing to teach for her. I agreed to teach for her on a scheduled basis. I actually only taught one class for her. The next thing I knew, I had a woman show up to my class, and she was like, hey, you know, I bought classes online for the Vixen workout. Nikki was actually online selling class packages in Atlanta when she didn't even live or teach there. So I had students come into my studio with a 5-class package that they had purchased from her. I ended up teaching these people for free. When I tried to reach out to Nikki, try to figure out what was going on, she just never responded to my calls or emails. Nikki was scamming Vixen workout clients, she was scamming instructors, and she was scamming the brand in general. I actually received an email with her threatening to sue me if I didn't call her and join her campaign to take down Vixen. Nikki posted my home address, including apartment number, on a Facebook bashing page for Vixen workout instructors. And she's not the victim because she's been the one terrorizing other people.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
She posted your home address?
Yes.
Did you do that?
Yes, I posted a page about all the cyberbullies that wrote something nasty and derogatory about me, as well as where to find them and information. Only information that was listed on that page was information from their either social media page, their website, or somewhere online.
But you put her address?
You got my address from a check that you wrote me, so yeah.
I found that information online.
If someone goes onto this page and sees her picture and her address, what was your hope that they would do with that information?
I didn't have any hope for that. Thinking about it now, like something could have physically happened to her. Somebody could have came to the studio and did something.
Nikki,
maybe they try to fight you or ambush you.
How derogatory remarks for me asking me or for saying that you lied.
I was selling packages and forcing you to accept them. Did I put a gun to your head? Did I post an ad to say, go to Michaela's studio if you buy this package? Like, where's the ad? Where's the receipt? Where's the email? Where's the post? Let me see this post where it said, go to you to redeem this. Because I want to see this.
Or are you just going to keep
talking? For you to say that is like absurd. I hired you to work for this workout fitness classes. Let's get that straight. And then we're trying to get a schedule together, and then you book a schedule, I'm booking the room, and then you cancel last minute. So I had to terminate you because you would be flaky and not follow through with your appointments.
When you're pimping that many instructors, it's hard to keep them all straight, guys. Sorry.
Hold on. So you became her boss?
I have a fitness company, and I was hiring instructors to teach classes. So, you know, I reached out to her and said she'd be interested, and she was.
She was not able to recruit instructors because she was pimping them. So then she would take a cut from her pay, which you could have been making your money on your own studios, and she was just making false claims. A misuse of the license. You took an 8-hour course to have a license to use my brand. That's all it was. You do not have the same freedom as I do as the owner and creator of the brand to post whatever the hell you want. Do you understand that? That the only reason anyone wrote anything back, and to be clear, I've never responded to any of the terrorism you've put online. You're the person that's been harassing them, and you terrorize them.
Can I just a second, please?
Okay. Next, can this battle of vixens come to a peaceful conclusion? I'm going to tell them what I think they each need to do after the break. I'll be right back. Do either of you think this is becoming to either one of you to be in this war with each other?
I'm not in a war. She's in a war with me.
Call it what you want. You're in a fight.
Yeah. Can we clear up what you said when the cameras were off?
What, the cyberbullying page that you headed and you started and campaigned against me?
That is absolutely
That's absolutely false. So where did they get those information from that they listed?
Because
who told them all these particular details? I filed multiple Better Business Bureau complaints because it wasn't me. I didn't write it online.
For 7 months, we've been stalked and harassed, and I'm a grown woman, and
I gotta walk around with a bat. I'm in fear for my life because you put a target on my back like you're a hitman.
Say what you want to say.
You wanted to be on the show.
No.
Emotionally, her attacks have been very successful. I've been unraveled emotionally, and I've thought about quitting everything because I was afraid for me and everyone else. And I'm a grown woman, so just to think that if the same thing that she's doing happens to someone who's weak, and if this happens to a child, I'm a mother. If this happens to my daughter, she gets cyberbullied or cyberstalked, children or teenagers or people who are weak will not be able to emotionally handle it. So I understand how suicide is an option for these people. So the reason why I'm on the show is because to say that there needs to be consequences for cyber attacks.
And it starts with you.
Listen, I'm a problem solver. Okay, I like to solve problems. And as I understand it, the two of you have never signed a contract. Correct?
Correct.
So you've paid thousands and thousands of dollars in, right?
Yes.
For different certifications. You've gotten certified. There were rules and
I followed them.
And conditions, and those changed along the way, and you continued to get certifications after that, which I'm no lawyer. I don't mean to brag, but I'm not. But when you continue to do business after those rules change, that can be looked on as ratifying your acceptance of those rules, such as non-disparaging comments about those with whom you do business. So you've essentially accepted that, you've ratified that, and then you violated that when you made disparaging comments. And you've made disparaging comments on the internet, you've made disparaging comments on local news, you've made disparaging comments here, you've made disparaging comments to Better Business Bureau and other places. And if you feel that way, I would think you would want to separate from it. And you are better off to say, you know what? Did not work out. I am going to take their name out of my vocabulary, and I am going to go forth and do what I do because I'm talented and can do things on my own. And you would be so well served to say to everybody that's associated with your very robust and successful brand that we have no dispute with this woman, and wish each other the best and move on. But you've got to stop this. You know, y'all just move on.
She's been stalking.
You called me a fraud.
When? Where?
Where? Your mother even called me a psychopath.
Holy
I don't want it to go any further. If I'm a fraud, just refund me my fraud money.
Ask you a serious question.
Okay, let me just ask you on the audience, because you're objective, do you believe the advice I've given is sound advice? If you do, raise your hand. Yeah, okay. Okay, so if you believe you're being stalked, get us temporary restraining order, because it is one step closer to being able to call the police and have her picked up on the spot.
Call up her hounds and they don't continue to stalk me? Because recently this has happened.
If you don't have any hounds to call off, then you're already finished, aren't you?
Yes.
Then you're done.
Cool.
You're already done. All right. Next, he's the star of CBS' new primetime drama Bull, inspired by my career before television, which was in the litigation arena, so I do know of which I speak. That's right. Michael Weatherly is here, and he says he has some tough questions for me. That's after the break. We'll be right back.
Before Dr. Phil was TV's #1 psychologist, he was America's best trial consultant.
This ain't my first rodeo.
This fall,
I'm Dr. Jason Bull.
A new series inspired by Dr. Phil's career in the courtroom.
Dr. Bull has 3 PhDs in psychology.
The jury starts with a preconceived idea of the truth. We don't guess at that.
Michael Weatherly is...
You're supposed to be on my side. I may be the only one who is.
Bull. CBS Tuesdays this fall.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. Her stepson's been missing for 6 years.
You lied to the media.
Yes, because I was told to.
The exclusive interview.
Did you attempt to hire someone to kill your husband?
That's tomorrow.
You may have seen the billboards with my next guest claiming he can get you off. After 13 seasons playing Special Agent Tony DiNozzo on NCIS, he's returning to CBS Primetime tonight as the star of Bull, which is inspired by my career before television, back when I had a real job. Please welcome Michael Weatherly. He's not actually here. This is all green screen. We are actually on set in New York City.
Steve, you want Doug to take one?
I'm on location with Bull. We've been shooting today in a restaurant here. Looks like Texas, but it's New York City. We also been shooting in an underground parking garage. All of this is rolling into an episode of Bull, and the cast is making it look like magic. First, Michael Weatherly had some questions for me about my life before TV and why that life was made for primetime drama.
Welcome to the Dr. Bull Show. Phil, thank you for coming. I'm going to ask you some questions. I want honest answers.
Like honest answers?
Honest answers.
Or TV honest answers?
Well, you decide.
All right.
Take 2, Mark.
The TV show that we're doing is inspired by your life before TV. So I'm very curious to know how it feels to watch your life kind of be TVized.
Well, it's pretty surreal to watch it be TVized, I'll tell you what. And we look so much alike.
Yeah.
That
people comment on
it. They do. If it wasn't for the glasses, they wouldn't be able to tell us apart.
And I would do a little bit of this.
Yeah, I think you got a little bit of scruff. Other than that, it would be the same.
The client is here.
Yes, I see that. He's brought some lawyers.
Oh, he brought 5 lawyers.
That is a...
You know, I hate lawyers. How would you define trial sciences, just to the layman? What is it?
To me, trial science is the analysis and execution of all of the human dynamics that go into decision-making, which is a verdict. When I was back doing this for real, you're absolutely on the run. I was living in courthouse to courthouse to courthouse. I would do sometimes 20 or 30 in a year. I lived in trial. I had no idea that anything like this would ever happen. And of course, it was Jay's idea to do this, you know, my son Jay said, we gotta turn this into a TV show.
Did it ever occur to you before, back when you were doing it, like, you know, this would make a great...
No, not at all. In fact, in all the time I was doing it, I never gave one word of an interview because I didn't ever want anybody to know what we were doing or how we were doing it. That's why it's so different now to be pulling back the curtain and letting everybody see what really drives the verdicts in America.
The real closing argument takes place behind the jury room door.
Having stood in that hallway and given that speech, I've done that. There are certain people, you know, if you put that person on the jury, you're trying your case to a jury of 1 because that person will control the entire process.
She's a naturally dominant personality. See how she has her hands on her hips, goes through doors first, sustains eye contact. I think one of the classic tropes in a law show is let's get the jury to change its mind.
No.
Can't change the jury's mind.
No.
But you can change the story.
You got to meet them where they are and tell them what they need to hear.
Right.
They'll get it right if you'll just show them what they need to see.
One story, based on the facts or not, that will persuade that person to not convict our client.
How do you know it's her?
How do you not know? Is there something that you want people to learn about trial science and about their jury duty or the legal system as it stands in the United States?
I've never seen the show from this point of view, and I want people to be fascinated by it and go, wow, and I want them to see you figure these things out and try to see where you're going.
I want to know every injustice she ever suffered. Every time she was screwed over, every slight, real or imagined. I want to know when she didn't get picked for the kickball team. I want all of it.
I like them to see how we're not making up any facts, we're getting an innocent person off, but we're using what we're given to tell a story effectively.
I find myself studying people a lot more closely now because of these stories that we're telling.
Since I've been 12 years old, I've been fascinated by figuring out why people do what they do and don't do what they don't do. If you figure out that, you got a huge leg up in this world.
But when you stop and take the moment to think, why do I do the things I do? And it really starts there. That has really spun my head. And just thank you for the mind, Dr. Phil.
Yeah. Listen, it's what I'm all about. All right. After 13 seasons on NCIS, Michael Weatherly says he was ready for a hiatus. But after reading the Bull script, he says it changed all of his plans. Why? Well, we're going to find out after the break. Plus, why Michael says if you liked his character, Tony DiNozzo, on NCIS, you're going to love Dr. Jason Bull. That's next.
After 13 years of NCIS, I was ready for a nice long vacation. I'd promised my wife. I walked into the kitchen and she was on the computer and I said, we have to have a talk.
Yeah.
Dr. Phil's gotten in my head.
Yeah. If you're going to be in the Los Angeles area and want to watch a live taping of the Dr. Phil Show, call 323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445 or visit drphil.com. Tickets are free, and I hope to see you soon.
As you know, our show has a lot of technology, a lot of science.
Right.
Juror number 7, college frat boy, basically, wants to be Brandon. And juror number 11, our rebel without a cause. He's siding with Brandon on principle, but he'll crater under pressure. And since our show is based on the world that you understand so well and part of your early career, we thought we'd look at what the science was like when you were doing it. Now, this is a very subtle way of reporting somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, we were pretty subtle in the bushes with this. Oh, my God.
This is what I want to see is, Phil, the client wants to talk to you.
Let me tell you, this was high-tech when you could take this out of your car.
This thing, do you know what this is?
Yeah.
That's your laptop.
Yeah, this is the laptop. This was the closest thing you had. This was, you could actually move this around. This is true. We really did do this.
I can see that.
Oh, my God. Where did you find all of this stuff? Jesus. Well, I often get asked, Dr. Phil, what did you do before television? Well, now, every Tuesday on CBS at 9 o'clock, 8 Central, you'll get your chance to see the world I lived in before TV on Bull, the new CBS primetime drama inspired by days as a trial consultant. But who could be handsome enough to play a character based on me? I mean, pretty hard, right? Well, I found someone close enough in the looks department, Michael Weatherly, who said the script completely changed his plans on taking a break from TV. Take a look. Everybody got hugely excited when we had a chance to get you to play Bull. When you first heard about this, did you have any idea what this was all going to entail?
I had zero understanding of what I was reading, and I started again. It became so clear to me that the show was about human behavior, and I was ready to take a break. After 13 years of NCIS,
right,
I was ready for a nice long vacation. I'd promised my wife, and then I read it all the way through a second time and walked into the kitchen, and she was on the computer, and I said, we have to have a talk.
Yeah.
Dr. Phil's gotten in my head.
Yeah. What was it that resonated with you about it?
What I saw is that Bull wasn't just listening. He's not a superhero. You know, he's the smartest guy in the room because he's hired the smartest people around him, and he's trusting them to do the work. She connects all the dots.
She doesn't fit the analytics.
I got a hunch about her. It was a new kind of team. I'd worked on a team with Harmon and everybody for 13 years. Orange walls. Classic. It felt like a world I wanted to explore.
You don't do this alone. You've got a computer expert, you've got an investigator, you've got a lawyer, you've got an analyst from Homeland Security. How do you feel about this team?
We have, you know, Danny is tough, former FBI. Chunk is going to get that you only make a first impression once, and this is what you need to project and present, just in terms of aesthetics. You've got our wizard, Annabelle, and then the high-octane energy of Marissa, who is just, more information is spilling out of that poor woman, yeah. And she can't help it. It's a great group, and we all hang out together on and off the set. We've really forged a great bond.
How would you describe Dr. Bull at this point?
A work in progress, a man who can understand everybody else's head and heart, but his own is a bit of a mystery to him.
Mm-hmm. Pete Peters.
Dr. Jason Bull.
Can you help my son?
Absolutely. He wants to help people because there's some part of himself that feeds. He's a junkie for human nature. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's a little bit of tough love, but it's really showing somebody, hey, I'm listening, I'm compassionate, I'm caring, and I'm here. But we don't go anywhere if you don't do the same thing.
Hey, sorry if it got rough in there. Somebody has to call the shots. It's better to be clear from the beginning. No hard feelings.
Do you think NCIS fans are going to be shocked at how deep this character is? I mean, because there's so much more to this character.
Yeah. Tony on NCIS was a clown, but he was a clown because he was insecure.
Can you put the slimming lens on as well? Anamorphic slimming.
Bull doesn't need anything except he needs to understand people. He's funny, but he's funny because he understands how things work.
You're a con man. You con Peters, but you haven't conned me.
I love you, man.
I mean, they're very different characters, but I think they're both spontaneous. They're both... They both have great hair.
Of course, they've got great hair. I read an article that the American Bar Association said this series, Bull, is going to change the public's perception of jury duty and how they were going to look at the entire judicial system in the United States.
That's interesting.
Do you think it's going to impact how people look at the jury summons when they get it?
I think without question, if Bull strikes that chord with people and is massively successful, you are going to have a massive impact on the legal system.
This is going to be fun, and we are thrilled to death.
Well, thank you for coming up with it.
Are Jason Bull. But let me tell you, he puts those glasses on, he becomes a whole different guy.
Tune in. You got to watch this.
All right, when we come back, I'm going to tell you the one thing you should never do if you want to serve on a jury. We'll be right back. Ready to get real? Go to drphil.com for advice on relationships, parenting, finances, and more. Plus, weigh in on your favorite episodes, share your stories, and find support in the Dr. Phil community. When you sign up for the community, you will automatically be subscribed to the Dr. Phil Show newsletter. Log on to drphil.com today. Now, I've always said I have an amazing staff here at the Dr. Phil Show, and without them, I couldn't do what I get the privilege to do every day on this stage. It's no different for Dr. Jason Bull on CBS's new primetime series, Bull, whose team is beyond exceptional. I caught up with a few of those talented actors in between takes. Let's take a quick look. Tell me, when you first got this script and looked at it, what did you think about it?
I was stunned because, I don't know if you know this, but it was inspired by Dr. Phil's life.
I've heard that.
Yeah, And then they took all that information and they added the personality of Michael. And it makes for some kind of magic chemistry that I have never seen before.
Yeah, he does great, doesn't he?
He's amazing.
So what did you think when you read the script?
I was blown away. I was like, what did I just sign up for? Because I never knew the history. So seeing you in a whole different light in that way, I was very impressed.
After hearing that opening, how many find the defendant not guilty?
You play Marissa Morgan.
Yes. Marissa Morgan used to work at Homeland Security. I am a neurolinguistics expert, a sex therapist, a statistician, and a psychologist, and basically Dr. Bull seduced everyone on my team but me.
So you keep him honest?
Oh yeah, I keep him honest.
All right.
I keep him on his toes.
Do we believe that Brandon didn't know Alyssa before the party?
Cable, hack into his contacts, see when he entered her phone number.
Well, you play Danny James.
Yes, sir.
Tell us what Danny James does.
Well, she's former FBI, has been plucked to support Bull in information gathering and any means necessary.
So you don't have to follow the rules anymore, right?
I am not a rule follower.
Yeah, so you can do anything.
I'm the stylist.
Chris Jackson, you play Chunk Palmer in Bull. Tell me about Chunk.
My specialty within the team is preparing the optics of whatever client we're helping. The most work, I think, is done as you're walking into the courtroom and as that jury sees you for the first time.
Is that something you thought you would ever play?
Let's be clear, I didn't even know this kind of science existed. When you're constantly learning about the kinds of work that goes into preparing someone for what could very well be, you know, a moment that defines the rest of their lives, it adds an extra weight, an extra gravity to all of it.
You play George Washington in Hamilton on Broadway.
I do.
You're here 8 days a week. You're married, you've got 2 children. I mean, what do you do in your spare time? I mean, come on.
That's it.
That's it, right?
That's it. I've been waiting over 20 years to have a moment like this and to be able to wake up every single day and be challenged by the work that I'm being asked to do and finding a tremendous amount of fulfillment in it.
Chris, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
You know, I said what you want to not do if you ever want to serve on a jury is you don't want to stand out, because nobody wants to try a case to a jury of 1. They're always afraid there's going to be a leader that's going to dominate the room. If you want to be on a jury, you got to blend in to the crowd because they're scared of leaders, I'll guarantee you. I want to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to Michael Weatherly and the cast of Bull, who took time out of their schedule to give a behind-the-scenes peek. I'm proud to say Bull premieres tonight on CBS at 9 o'clock, 8 Central. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.